as you kind of progressed with your career and so forth, when people ripped you off, the standard way to deal with these things is murder in the drug game, but you never did that.
No, because I understood. I understood that from multiple levels. I was fortunate for me that when I started selling drugs, I had become a critical thinker. And I really didn't understand that until a couple weeks ago. I got a couple babies that play tennis, and I started letting them get coached by one of my old teammates, and he invited us up to UCLA for a camp, and the coach from UCLA was speaking to a group of kids, and he was saying that in tennis you're making 60,000 decisions every tennis match. I believe, if I may be quoting the numbers wrong, but anyway, there was a high number of decisions that have to be made at any given time, and what that told me was that from playing tennis, making those decisions every single day turn you into what is known as a critical thinker. And I was able to weigh decisions out quickly and make decisions that a lot of people can't make, saying that there was incidents where people owed us money, and say for instance, like one time one of our suppliers had hooked up a deal, and then we wound up getting cake mix.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that in our first interview.
Yeah, like $70,000 worth of cake mix.
Right.
So I'm chasing a guy who got my money in the car. So when I get back to where the guy was who was setting up the deal, my guys done beat him to a pulp. He's bloody and he's covered, and they thinking about killing him. And I had to come to terms with them and convince them that we couldn't kill him. That it wasn't. First of all, I didn't believe that he was involved in the ripoff, and the other thing of how much it would cost us if we killed him.
So you mentioned you were there with your mother and her boyfriend. Where was your father during this whole time?
My father was living in Texas.
Okay. Were your parents married or no?
They were married before. They separated when I was 4 months old. So I never lived with my father. Well, for 4 months probably, I probably lived with my father.
Okay.
So we didn't have a relationship. We didn't. We just didn't. We didn't have a relationship. There was no father-son.
Okay. The whole time to this day?
Yeah, I think I spent 1 week with him when I got out in '93. I think I spent 1 week with him.
And that's it?
Yeah. Just, I had never spent time with him. I didn't know him, but I did kind of want to know a little bit about him. And I was glad I did spend that time with him. He passed while I was in prison. But I found out, that he was a hustler. And then from the LA Time article, I found out that he used to be a bootlegger. So we kind of practiced similar trades in some forms. But he was definitely a hard worker. He didn't mind working. And, we had a few things in common.
A lot of times when I talk to people who end up getting involved in the streets, they say it's because they didn't have a father around, and the OG in the neighborhood became the father figure in a way. Do you think that if you had a father in your life the whole time, that you might have chosen a different path?
It's hard to say if a father would have made a difference. My thing was more economics. It wouldn't have mattered if my father would have been there if he wouldn't have been able to show me how to strive economically. I think I probably would have wound up in the same position because as long as I can remember, I wanted money.
Right.
Since I was, 4 or 5 years old, I used to hustle bottles. Even though I didn't know what to do with the money at that time, I would go make the money and go buy candy and tater chips. But at the same time, I knew that you needed money to buy potato chips and candy. in sodas, and that's what I was going to do to get that, because my mom didn't give me the money to get it.
Yeah. And today you have 8 children.
Yeah, 8 children, and I think I got 13 or 14 grandkids.
Wow. And it seems like you're involved in their lives.
I try to be. I try to be. If they let me, I want to be a part. But you know, I have one daughter who doesn't want me in her life. You know, I mean, but we cool. You know, if she needs her car go to the impound or the repo people get it, she called me and, hey, Dad, I need $300 kick in. And I go to scrounging to make sure that that I can help her whenever I can. What I want to do with my kids is really just give them opportunities, afford them the opportunities and the insight to do whatever it is they want to do. You know, I understand that everybody don't want what I want, and everybody shouldn't want what I want.
Right.
And I try not to impress my will on others, you know, because then you become a dictator. And I don't want to be a dictator. I just want to enjoy life, you know, and keep breathing.